Hello everybody and welcome to Total War Warhammer. My name is Cape4 and today we're going to start the campaign. That's a new campaign. There are 5 factions in total: the Empire, the Dwarves, the Greenskins, the Vampire Counts and the Warriors of Chaos. The Empire resembles the human species, Dwarves obviously the Dwarves, Greenskins, Orcs and Goblins, Vampire Counts, any kind of undead creatures, and then the Warriors of Chaos, of course. Everything that emerged from the warp, changed and mutated, the evil guys basically. So this is my very first Total War game, and if you're a beginner like me, that's great. We can learn together. I'm going to take a lot of time to check everything and see how the mechanics work. And if you're a veteran, that's even better. You can war counsel me. I'm very happy to take any advice you can give me. So let's just go over the factions real quick. Each of them appears to have some unique mechanics and different playstyle. So let's see, the Empire. They can only capture territory belonging to Vampire Counts or any other human factions except for Norska. Okay, so can the Vampire Counts also capture... Yeah, okay. So the Vampire Counts can only capture territory belonging to humans. That's interesting. Okay. So they have some bias going on there. Let's see, the humans. Offices. Lords may be assigned into offices, granting them a unique title and bonuses. Okay, so you basically assign one general to a province to govern it or something like that. Let's see about this. And technologies branches are linked to various buildings. Okay, interesting. The unique units. The Empire has the Luminarch of Hish, a magic chariot. Okay, that's interesting. Lower to fire, magical aura, Solheim's bolt of illumination. Okay, armor leadership. Okay, leadership is basically the morale, I guess. And if the units are out of morale, they either lag it or die. Okay, then we have the ammunition. Okay, so basically it can shoot 10 times and then it's out of ammo. Gotta keep that in mind. Range, missile damage, wow, 1000 damage, that's pretty significant, I guess. 3.8k health. Unique units, unique abilities, aura of protection, 12% physical resistance, okay. Oh, it's AoE, okay, that's pretty good. And, okay, and some kind of debuff. Hex of the Winds. Around self. Affects enemies, reduces power recharge rate. Interesting. Okay, then we have the Demigryph Knights. Shock Cavalry. Okay, what is Shock Cavalry exactly? Well-timed charge by these near unstoppable cavalry units can cause devastating damage. Okay, so they are probably only good at charging. 6k health, a lot. And then 66 weapon strength. And this icon, the damage of armor piercing weapons mostly ignores the target's armor, making them the ideal choice against heavily armored enemies. Okay, so this icon means they are armor piercing damage. And then the armor, this unit has a shield and will block 30% of all small arms fire, hitting it from the front. Okay, interesting. And then steam tank. 6.8k health, a lot of armor, a lot of leadership, pretty fast, oh pretty slow, 57. Melee attack of 35, okay, armor piercing, wow, okay, missile damage, 405, armor piercing, that's sick. Unbreakable, okay, does not suffer from leadership loss, okay. Yeah, pretty nice units, and the playstyle, plentiful Federation options, allowing other Empire factions to emerge through the Emperors via diplomacy. Okay, so we can basically absorb other empires using diplomacy, which sounds promising. Balanced unit roster with a wide range of options, yeah, we saw that. Fractured Empire, whereby the provinces of the Empire are ruled by elector counts over whom the Emperor has tenuous control at best. Okay, and numerous enemies. Yeah, basically the Empire is at war with everyone, most of the time. Okay. Yeah, let's see what the dwarves have going for them. They can only capture territory belonging to greenskins or other dwarf factions. Okay, so the Empire and Vampire counts have a bias, and then the dwarves and the greenskins as well. So the greenskins can capture only dwarf and greenskin towns. Okay. And then the dwarves' grudges. Enemy actions result in grudge missions, all of which must be settled in order to achieve campaign victory. Okay, that sounds interesting. So basically, if they sack one of your cities, you have to return the favor, or you can win. That's interesting, and it fits into the whole pride dwarf setting, which I like. And then we have use underway. Armies can choose to use the network of underground tunnels to avoid impassable terrain and enemy armies. Okay, so this might be some teleport from town to town mechanic. Let's see. Yeah, top units, Gyro Bomber, a armored, anti-piercing, anti-infantry, flying war machine. Wow, okay. With armor-piercing damage. That's pretty strong. And 210 ammunition. Wow, that's sick. Okay, and then we have the Slayers, X-Infantry, anti-large, fast, for dwarf. Death Blow, oh, what is Death Blow? Slayers are unbreakable and always fight to the bitter end. Sometimes even beyond that. Okay, imminent death only makes them fight harder. When killed in melee, Slayers launch a final attack on their dying breath. Okay, that's sick. And whirling axes. They are armed with 2 axes, definitely whirling them at high speed to deflect incoming missile fire. Okay. That's sick. So they basically kill large enemies, very efficient, and they take almost no missile fire, which counters their low armor, I guess. So the only way to really deal with these guys is to throw normal as melee units upon them, which is nice. So for the later parts of the game, the normal units won't be completely deprecated if you go against dwarves. That's nice. And then we have the Iron Drakes, flamethrower infantry. Wow, that's sick. Armored anti-infantry, weak against armor. Okay. What do they have going? Hide. Okay, what is hide? They can hide in the forest. Okay, that's pretty nice. Magic resistance and fire resistance. Okay, and they do missile damage, but not armor piercing. So they basically melt any weak units. Like literally melt them. That's also nice. Okay, place durable units with strong leadership, excellent range of strong artillery, strong economy and trade options, large technology tree with both military and civic branches, magic resistance, expensive unit recruitment cost and upkeep, no cavalry, small military unit sizes, and no magic. Okay, initial challenge easy. Okay, for the Empire, this was initial challenge normal. Numerous enemies. Okay, we've been through that. Okay, for the greenskins, faction mechanics, dwarf bias, frightiness. Armies have a frightiness rating, which rises when fighting and raiding, and falls when inactive as a result of being defeated. Okay. I didn't really get that, honestly. They have a frightiness rating, which rises when fighting and raiding, and falls when inactive. A fightiness. Oh yeah, I didn't get that right. So basically, if you don't continuously fight with the greenskins, you basically get some sort of debuff, I guess. Animosity. Oh, there it is. Okay. Low fightiness leads to infighting between troops, resulting in attrition. Wow. Okay. So if you don't give them an enemy to fight, they fight itself, which again totally fits into the whole mentality of the greenskins, because that's basically how they think. I like this a lot. And then we have war. High fightiness will spawn an allied war. Armies which can be sent against the enemy. Wow. Okay, that's pretty good. So if you fight a lot, you get rewarded. If you don't fight, your troops dwindle because they fight themselves. That's pretty good. I like it. And then use on the way this underground thing again. Okay, so basically like the dwarves. Top units, giant. Armor piercing, it's a monster. Okay, large, aggressive, and mostly drunk. All those little puns embedded in there in the descriptions. That's also really nice. Typical Games Workshop. I like it. Armor piercing. The damage of armor piercing weapons mostly ignores the armor of the target, making them the ideal choice against heavily armored enemies. They are often heavier and attack at a slower rate though, making them less efficient against poorly armored targets. Okay. Anti-infantry. They have an advantage against targets that are smaller than a horse. Okay, so he just plows through them. Bam, bam, bam. That's pretty good. And this causes terror, which means melee targets rout for a short time. Okay. Units that cause terror are immune to terror and fear themselves. Okay, it causes fear, it causes terror. Okay, and fear does this leadership damage. Got it. And 11k health is a lot. Like, a lot. Low armor, but wow. That's pretty significant. Okay, then we have the Doom Diver Catapult. Guided projectile catapult. Projectile fired by this unit can home in on its target. When fired in first person mode, you can control the projectile yourself. What? That's amazing. Wow. And 22 ammo as well. Yeah, this again might be a reference to this psionic thing, because in the Warhammer universe, everyone is a latent psionic, right? So the whole reason why orcs and goblins in Warhammer 40k, for example, are able to travel through space on a giant fucking rock is because millions of orcs and goblins gather on this rock, and because they believe that this thing is going to float, they actually make it float. And that's amazing. So maybe for the catapult crew this goes the same. This is also the reason why the orcs have red and loud weapons, simply because they believe if they paint it red and it's very loud, it does more damage, it's more efficient, right? So this also fits into this thing really nice. I like it a lot. Then we have Giant Spider. Wow, Ragnarok Spider. Giant Spider, armored, armor piercing, poison attacks. Okay, what is poison exactly? Strider, okay, that's also new. Okay, they ignore terrain. Poison is not really explained. There is poison, okay, great. So there's a poison effect which reduces armor piercing damage, reduces speed, reduces weapon damage, missile damage, and vigor. Okay, what is vigor exactly? I don't know. Gotta keep that in mind. But this seems to be pretty efficient. And lots of armor. 8k health. The giant had 11k, and this one has 8k health. That's pretty significant. Okay, place at large unit sizes, cheap unit upkeep, bonuses to income derived from raiding and sacking. Goblin units have little leadership, limited technology tree, cannot trade, limited economic buildings. Okay, so all your income basically has to come from raiding and sacking. Then with the vampire counts. Faction mechanics can only capture human territory, raise dead, new units can be raised from the dead in any province. Famous battle sites provide bonuses to the quantity and quality of options available. Wow, okay, that's, I guess, pretty huge, because if you have like a big battle with the low tier units and a lot of enough of these die, you basically get to raise higher tier units from the battlefield, which I guess can be pretty OP. And then with corruption. Vampiric corruption can be spread in enemy territory, leading to public order problems and even vampiric rebellions. Okay, that's sick. Top units, Terrorgeist, WAAGH, armor piercing, very fast regeneration, poor leadership. Okay, 6k health, low armor piercing attack, regeneration, let's see. Okay, replenishes HP. Doesn't say the rate though. It's probably significant, because it also comes with 20% flame weakness. Okay, and then we have the Terrorgeist. Armored, armor piercing, anti-large, causes terror. Also poison. Sick. And the Hex Wraith. These are flying monsters, and these are cavalry. Excuse me. Armor piercing ethereal? What? Okay, ethereal units ignore most of the damage done by non-magical weapons, as they have shed most of their physical form. Okay, they are not slowed by terrain-based movement penalties either. Wow, that's sick. So they're basically ghosts, I guess. Yeah, fits to the image. Okay, Vanguard deployment. Units can deploy in an expanded deployment area, allowing it to start the battle within striking distance of the enemy or somewhere unexpected. Okay, and cause terror. Pretty good. Oh, it has flaming attack and magic attack. And armor piercing, wow. The damage itself is really low though. 38 compared to 300 from the Terrorgeist or 230 from the WAAGH. But probably makes up for it due to it being almost unkillable, I guess. Okay, place the strong magic battle options, including raising of new units from the dead. Yeah, you can do it in Warhammer Tabletop as well. Like raise a few units, boom, from nothing, and well exceed your strength limit. Units cause fear, impacting enemy leadership, crumbling instead of routing. Units will suffer casualties when losing in combat. Okay. Some battle casualties are automatically raised from the dead post-battle, even in defeat. That's also pretty good. And no missile units. Okay, so these guys are melee only. And then we have the Warriors of Chaos, Horde. The faction has no settlements. What? Infrastructure and military improvements are linked to each individual Chaos Horde. Okay, I don't really get that, to be honest. So your hero will build buildings? Whatever, man. Yeah, this does not seem to be the best faction for a first Total War play through, so yeah, let's finish reading the mechanic anyway. Corruption. Chaos corruption can be spread in enemy territory, leading to public order problems and even chaos rebellions, so similar to the vampire corruption. Top units, Chaos Giant, oh yes, awesome. Armor piercing, anti-infantry, causes terror, 11k health, that's sick. Hell cannon, armor piercing missiles, doomfire, okay. The Hell cannon can transform the souls of former victims into crackling bolts of energy. Targets hit by this projectile receive a leadership penalty. The demonic bond between the Hell cannon and its shot also allows minor corrections of the letter's flight path. When fired in first person mode, you can control the projectile yourself. That's sick. And unbreakable. Yeah, does not suffer leadership. Yeah, 493 missile damage, armor piercing, 40 ammo. Let's compare that to the Steam Tech really quick, which I guess was also a armor piercing range unit. Yeah, there it is. 400, 380 range, 40 ammo. So the Chaos thing is a little bit stronger, but not that resilient. The Steam Tank has a lot more armor, leadership and hit points. Yeah. Okay, then we have the Chosen. That's awesome. Chosen of Chaos. Yeah, pretty high armor as you would expect. I think in Warhammer Tabletop the Chaos guys have the highest possible armor value. I think it's 5. So yeah, high armor, shields, yeah, armored and shielded ex-infantry, okay. Playstyle, strong unit roster with armored infantry and monsters, severely limited missile options, yeah, basically probably only this. Strong diplomatic penalties with almost all factions, yeah, obviously because you're fucking Chaos, nobody likes you. Cannot trade. Economy is heavily reliant on sacking, railing and loot. Individual challenge hard. Yeah, so I would love to play Chaos in the future, but I don't think it's suited for my very first Total War game. So from these factions, I probably like greenskins and vampire counts the most. So let's read the description for the greenskins. Orcs and goblins are the scourge of the old world. Collectively known as greenskins, they are an aggressive and brutal race with an unquenchable love of war. Orcs are built for violence, brutal bullying creatures of jutting jaws and hulking appearance. The goblins, by contrast, are smaller but more cunning, as they mob up in greater numbers. While the greenskins have made lairs in ransacked dwarven holes, they can be found across the world, the majority residing in the arid badlands, mainly fighting amongst themselves, and occasionally coming together as a greater threat. Now, such an occasion is upon us. The Grimgor Ironhide comes south. Goaded by Gorfang Rotgard, the boss of Blackcrag, Ironhide marches with his black orcs. Once Blackcrag is his, surely the Badlands will follow, and then the other dwarf realms shall fall into his ever-growing war, and all while the Empire burns. This is what Gork and Morg demand. Please them and ensure the mobs shout the name Grimgor for the rest of time. Okay, so I really like the greenskin thing, and also the fact that we get to play Grimgor Ironhide, who's like the godfather of the orcs. He's such a boss. His amount of greatness is beyond limit. This guy is he's just awesome. Okay, and now let's see what the vampire count is actually all about, right? Vampires have ever been a plague upon the living, and none more so than the von Carsteins, an abominable bloodline of undead nobles from the deathly realm of Sylvania. Oh yeah. They inevitably strike out of this region at the head of a mighty undead host. Power-hungry necromancers, zombie hordes, ranks of skeletons, tomb-skulking crypt ghouls, and bestial werewolves are just some of the nightmares a vampire lord can summon to his indomitable will. Vlad was the progenitor of the Carstein line, but Manfred was equally feared, finally being brought to bay at Helfen and slain. But what is no longer living is never easy to kill. Manfred has risen again. The dead have never rested easily in Sylvania, and now they lurch from their graves, summoned to unlife by the midnight aristocracy as Manfred prepares to challenge mankind once more. He is the eternal emperor, the usurper. Karl Franz will learn this at a... He is the eternal emperor. The usurper Karl Franz will learn this at a great cost, and all the living will pay tribute to von Carstein's unholy majesty. Yes, that's awesome. Okay, so it's decided for our first Let's Play. It's going to be the greenskins and the vampire counts, and once I finish these two, I am going to play Warriors of Chaos. For the greenskins, I get to conquer Dwarfland, and then for the vampire counts, I get to conquer the Empire lands, which is perfect. So let's check the victory objectives for the greenskins. I must destroy all the following factions, which appear to be greenskin factions, and then I need to loot, raise, or sack 50 different settlements. Okay, got it. Control all the following dwarf holds. Okay, so I need to conquer all or most of the dwarf dwarf cities. Excuse me. And then we need to destroy the Empire and the dwarves. Okay, and earn 20k from raiding. Okay, and we need to ensure that Archaon the Ever-Chosen is in a wounded state. Okay, so this is some kind of chaos avatar. That's sick. Okay, so basically all we have to do to win the campaign is unite the orc tribes, sack a lot of cities, kill the dwarves, kill the Empire, and fight chaos. Sounds easy enough. And then vampire counts, we have, what is this exactly? Short campaign. Oh, okay, and long campaign. Yeah, imagine short campaign is probably pretty boring. So long campaign it is. Let's see, we need to destroy the Empire, the dwarves, and Britannia, and ensure that any military presence belonging to Warriors of Chaos exists only in the Chaos Oasis. Okay, so we need to contain the Chaos threat and also ensure that the Chaos Avatar is wounded. Okay, in main control of 20 provinces. Okay, yeah, that's oh, there's no 20 provinces thing to the greenskins. So basically, once you killed all these factions, you can actually afford to lose the territory again or completely erase their cities. It's also good to keep in mind. Okay, so let's start with the greenskins actually. And difficulty, let's see. Oh, there's no info on the difficulty, I guess. Yeah, easy is probably boring. Very hard legendary. Okay, this is some kind of Iron Man thing. Yeah, so I think it's going to be normal, just because it's my very first Total War game. And after finishing with the greenskins, if I figure it's way too easy, or even halfway through the campaign, it's just we're steamrolling everything, I might even restart on hard. But for now, I think normal is the way to go. And then we get to choose a leader. Okay, it's definitely going to be Grimgor, there's no question about this. Faction leader, powerful melee fighter and leader, has the unique Immortals banner, which buffs a unit of Black Orcs in his army. Okay, that's sick. 5% campaign movement rate, minus 10% upkeep for Black Orcs and Big Guns units. And we get additional starting units. Black Orcs, Orc Boar Boys, and a Doomdiver Catapult. Yes! That's awesome. So we can probably start sieging right away, which is really, really nice. Okay, description. No one knows much about Grimgor before staggered out of the blasted wastes. No one knows much about Grimgor before he staggered out of the blasted wastes with the Immortals, his bloody-minded bodyguards. They were tired and hungry, but were Black Orcs nonetheless, and particularly hard ones at that. Ooh, I like it. Even for a Black Orc, Grimgor's thirst for war was exceptional. If a single day went by without a battle, Grimgor was known to start camp-decimating arguments, his one good eye blazing with eagerness to find fault and start a good scrap. 2 days without a battle, and Grimgor would smite anything he could reach, save perhaps his fellow Black Orcs. Who knows what would happen if 3 days without a battle ever occurred. Even scarred veterans tremble just to think of it. His unquenchable thirst for battle is a sign that marks out a war boss for leadership. A sign that the orc is favored by Gorg. In a hulking Black Orc with unmatched fighting skills and ferocity, it has marked out Grimgor for greatness, the prophet and harbinger of Gorg, who is one of the orc gods. Okay, yeah, it's absolutely clear we're so going to play greenskins. So enable introduction, yes please. And then we're going to jump right into the first mission, I guess.